Can you buy a cheap knife that will do the same job as a very expensive knife? Starring the Kershaw Camp 10. Without further ado, guys, welcome to my channel. Please bear with me till I set up the phone. Now, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna pit the Kershaw Camp 10 against a Tops Skull Crusher, and they're both gonna battle the Tree of Truth. Okay, I'm about to show you some specs and all the info before we get started. Now, you can just fast forward to the end like a prick and see if it made it and it done it right, but I'm planning to stay here for a good while, get a good workout, beat the crap out of that tree. I'll show you how sharp they are. This is a Kershaw Camp 10. This is a Tops Skull Crusher. Factory direct, this is almost $300. I've been beating the crap out of this and it just keeps going. My only complaint about it is I'm not man enough as E.J. Snyder, who invented this blade, and this handle diameter is probably too big for my hands, but this won't fail you. I've been trying to break this on purpose since I got it. I bought two. It's just not dying. It's just, I've hit rocks with this. I've been using it as a digging tool. The handle's not loose. It just keeps going. It's a low saber grind. It's a high saber grind. This thing is a lot lighter. This is about a 1/4 inch thick, the Skull Crusher. This one is about 0.2 inches thick. And again, high saber grind, doesn't feel as robust. It's definitely not as heavy. If I had to get in a fight, if I had to fight for my life against a wild animal or a feral crackhead, I would want this. If I had to live like the apocalypse the rest of my life, I would want this. This can do the same job as this one. This one does not feel as durable as this, but that's what we're here to figure out. If you guys have any other questions about it, you can, videos on this blade, the Kershaw Camp 10, they've been done to death. But basically what we're here to do is to educate people who are just getting into survival knives, namely big choppers, because I could do feather sticks with this. This is Mini Tack Bowie by Cold Steel. Cold Steel is really good, budget friendly company too. If you're just tuning in, we are comparing survival knives. A near $300 knife compared to a very popular made in China one, Kershaw Camp 10, versus the Tops Skull Crusher against the Tree of Truth. And let me demonstrate how sharp I've been making these, so you know that they're sharp still. And we'll see at the end how much edge retention they have. Remember, guys, if you're just in the survival knives, a rule of thumb is edge retention isn't everything. Meaning if you keep banging on this, if you keep cutting things, is it gonna stay sharp? Because most of those blades are not as tough as a soft steel, which you have to sharpen more often, and that's not hard to do. I can make videos on that too, if you're new. So without further ado, show you guys how sharp these things are. Gets a primary and the second edge, okay? Again, this is Tops Skull Crusher. There's many videos on this knife made by E.J. Snyder. See that? See, I didn't bring paper, so you get the point with this. And that's a low saber grind. This is even sharper. This is a high saber grind. Better for slicing. So, show you the sharpness on this. That's pretty good. So anyways, guys, so let's get to the intro and the training montage, and we'll be on our way to go. So give me 1 second, please. And who's going to conduct this fiasco is my formerly conjoined brother, Nacho the Squatcho. So if you would just bear with me. Oh, let me make sure there's no Karens around. Let's see some comments real quick. Oh my. Hello, how you guys doing too? If you want me to give a shout out to you, put like a star before your comment. That's pretty cool. You're pretty cool, guys. So, part of my goofy intro, I gotta go get Nacho the Squatcho to do this test. Okay, so basically you're gonna sit here all morning, stand here all morning, and beat the crap out of these blades on the tree of truth. On the tree of truth. So let's show you the tree of truth real fast so we can do a before and after. Okay, so I've been here practicing how to whoop ass with blades, testing blades. This is a dead tree, so don't worry about it. You know, it's past its days of bearing fruit. And pardon me, guys. Just let me get situated. This is live. Again, I know somebody's gonna fast forward to the end of the video once it's uploaded to see how good the blade did, but you guys are gonna get to see and hear a little show. Let me go get my formerly conjoined brother to guide us on this journey. Should be good. Excuse me. All right, Nacho, where are you at? Nacho the Squatcho coming at you live soon. Nacho, where are you? Nacho. What the fuck do you want? You're supposed to do a video, asshole. Oh, shit. Yeah, man, remember? Oh, damn it. I was supposed to be oh, damn it, I got a cigarette burn in my tail, son of a bitch. What the fuck? Yeah, man, you're supposed to come here and test the Kershaw Camp 10, so you better get in the character now. So, fuck off. Hey, boys and girls, I am Nacho the Squatcho, and today we're gathered today to see if made in China bullshit could do as good as $300 made in America fucking shit. Yay! So, sit back and enjoy the ride and wait for my training montage. I gotta get the juices flowing. Where's my weights? Damn it! Okay, so here we go, boys and girls. Yay! Let's all get in the mood! Camera, yay! Like breathing in a shitload of chips. So, I'll tell you, this Tops blade is the shit, and I love it so much. The handle, it just feels like it's gonna fly out of my hand. Tires the shit out of my forearm. I'm a relatively big dude. The guy who made this is a fucking monster. Okay, let's see some comments. Who has seen Nacho in the wild? You rock, guys. You're seeing Nacho in the wild. Hell yeah. You're amazing. You guys rock. Joe X is a really good channel too, man. I learned from him. The one in the right hand is better. Yeah. Yeah, this one's 300 bucks. This is one of the strongest knives in the world. Kind of can't break it. Let's see some edge retention, guys. Okay, so this next round of music, we're gonna hit the spine. And the reason why we should test the spine hitting these trees, it's gonna mimic batoning. But if you don't know what batoning is, it's basically when you get a log, you put your knife on it and you ham your knife through it, so it splits the log in half. And the more and more you split the logs, eventually you guys can make these feather sticks, and that's your tinder for fire. So you make these little feather sticks, and it's a lot easier to light on fire than a whole big ass stick. And one of the cool things about this knife is you can do with this little, it's called a quarter round. This one, well, I don't want to cut my hand, but relatively you'd have a bigger piece and you'd be drawing it up like this. And as a bad example, there's other channels and other videos about this knife. But okay, spine round. We're gonna hit the back of these knives and drink some water. Yeah, I didn't even bring a lot of water. One will break down anyway. Oh, you rock, boss. A survival show. No, the guy who made this knife, he was a star in the show Naked and Afraid. This is the Top Skull Crusher. This is the Kershaw Camp 10. We're here today to see how well the Kershaw Camp 10 does against the Skull Crusher. And so let's do a little bit of edge retention test. So I've been beating the crap out of that tree for about 4 or 5 minutes straight. So let's see how it goes. Take my word on it, it's relatively still sharp. Not as sharp as when I brought it out here. This is still pretty damn sharp for a low saber grind. That's a low saber grind. See how the bevel comes way down here, and you see this line here, and that's your edge. But here, if you can see the line, it goes way up higher here. It's a high saber grind. If you had to use these in a life or death situation, like if you were to hit a mountain, if you had to hit a mountain lion with this, it's gonna make a huge dent, like a huge indent or whatever. But here, this, God forbid you ever have to defend your life with this will sink in and probably hit their jugular or their spine for sure. It's pretty bad. It's pretty gnarly. It's a high saber grind. Generally, low saber grinds are stronger than high saber grinds, flat grinds. But flat grinds, high saber grinds are better for weapons. Low saber grinds is better for a robust tool. This is a lot more heavy duty, the Tops. This Kershaw though, I almost regret bringing it out here to beat the shit out of it. I forgot how good of a knife this is. But okay, round 2, we're gonna hit the spine because it's gonna mimic that batoning. And generally, if the knife sucks, the batoning will make the handle loose. It'll make the screws loose. It'll make shit start coming apart, you know? So, round 2 is on the spine. All right, so honestly, guys, I like to be all pro-America, but this Kershaw is winning. Nothing's wiggling, nothing's loose. The handle's a dream. The handle's just not hurting my hand whatsoever. Here's the edge, because I've spent the first round on the edge. Now I'm hitting the spine. I know, just take my word on it, it's doing fine. Okay, I didn't fuck with the edge, so the edge is gonna still be sharp. The tops, it's loose. Can you hear that? Can you hear that? Almost a $300 knife. I love this knife. I'm starting to get in the kukris because all I care about is chopping. To be honest, I have been beating the shit out of this blade for about 2 months straight, but nah, you would have to carry something to retighten this. So honestly, man, I mean, the video is pretty much already done. The Kershaw is winning, dude. The Kershaw Camp 10, guys. Made in China, but, oh, by the way, guys, these kind of blades, made in China, certain cold steels switching to a company called GSM. Their shit started to be made in China. I was lucky enough to get a 1055 made in South Africa Kukri the other day, because the channel Joe X, he's been buying cold steel from GSM to show how much weaker they are compared to their original. You guys, I think you could strike a ferro rod with this too, man. Maybe not great, but the spine is kind of sharp. So let me sit down right here, please. I don't know if the tariffs via Mr. Donald Trump is going to start making made in China shit more expensive, but other than this is pretty much brand new. Just, you guys, you saw what I was doing, man. I was actually able to hit this harder because of the comfort and the ergonomics of the handle. I was able to hit this harder than I hit this. This was in my left hand right now. This made in China shit was in my right hand. I was hitting this harder. I was cocked back. You're stronger this way. It's the same science why boxers' rear hand is stronger than their jab. And this is holding up extremely well. Look at, that's just my hand. That's nothing loose. It's the blade isn't wobbling back and forth. But hear this. Like, I'm sure you guys can hear that. Sounds like a woodpecker. Dude, this knife is almost 300 bucks if you get it directly from Tops. Now, I mean, son of a bitch, dude, I was really expecting this to beat the shit out of this made in China shit, man. I have a fresh Tops. I mean, you got to keep your private information private, but my other Tops, the brand new one, I bought 2 of these. One to beat up on purpose. I'm probably going to sell it because I'm getting in the kukris. Getting the kukris, man. Even though this is lighter, this is less, the blade thickness is less thick. The grind is a high saber grind. I was expecting this to be a lot less durable. I was trying to come out here basically buying this made in China shit to break it on purpose. And in round 2, it's already defeated this blade. So, I mean, you're never gonna whack stuff with the spine, but it's gonna mimic batoning really, really hard. So let me get out some comments and we'll do some more on the edge. Let's see what people wrote. The processing in China might be better because it could be older technology to make it better quality sometimes. Yeah, well, here's the thing, boss. This is 65 MN steel. This is 1095 heat treated 2B, robust and having good edge retention. Well, it's still sharp. It's actually keeping its edge better than the made in China Kershaw. It's keeping its edge better. I don't know about this handle, man. It's already loose. I don't know if I were to put Loctite or JB Weld on this, if it would make a huge difference, man. But I don't know, man. I don't know if any knife fans out there remember Ontario Knife Company. But Ontario Knife Company, the one thing I like about K Bar and Ontario Knife Company is most of their handles, I don't have to worry about re-screwing shit. But also those kind of blades, they have a rat tail tang. The tang of this blade is very thick and robust, and the tangs of blades like this go skinnier in here. So honestly, with how this tang is going to be smaller and everything, it really should have wore out less. So you know what we're going to do? Let's go do one more round with just this to focus it on the spine to see, because I mean, this has had rough prior use than today. So it's only fair to at least give this one more round on the spine. And again, guys, I couldn't even hit that tree that hard with this because it hurt my hand. This handle, either way, knife, this way, it's a dream. One thing, I mean, if I had to pound tent pegs in the ground or anything, I would say I would trust this more, but let's I've been using it as a digging tool too. One more round on the spine, and let's see if it starts to get thinner. So let me bear with me. I'm gonna take a drink and find another song. I gotta find songs that are not copyrighted. So anyways, guys, thanks a lot. Give me a second. I gotta drink some water here. I'm pretty sure that Tops blade though is keeping an edge better. Some nasty tea in there. All right, Kershaw Camp 10 against the Tree of Truth.
Now, when you're packing hardware like this in your pants, you have to be careful where you leave it in your vehicle. Unsafe spots like your seat, your dashboard, or...
right, after a while, that does start to hurt the hand. So 2 rounds on this. We hear no wiggling. The coating to prevent rust, it is coming off. That should be expected. But there's no rattle. I don't detect any looseness. It's still like I bought it. Whereas this, which I couldn't even hit it that hard because the handle hurts so bad. Again, I don't know, can you, the water is kind of blocking the noise, but if you can hear that, sounds like a woodpecker. The handle on the $300 blade, I got that from Knife Country USA or Wiseman Trading, I don't remember. And they're significantly less than buying directly from Tops. But this is beating the Tops, guys. So let's do a round on the edge. And then one more round with both of them, beating the edge to see if we can wear down this edge. 65 MN steel. This should not hold an edge as well as 1095 of Skull Crusher. If you guys are new to survival knives, keep in mind, guys, that I prefer soft steels. So whatever hunting knife you're looking at, or survival knife, I mean, that you're looking into buying, because generally hunting knives are small. They're for skinning animals. So that need not apply here. We're talking about big, heavy choppers, machetes, but namely this, you could technically call this a machete, but not really. It's too thick. It's 0.2 inches thick. And it's like that for robustness. It's for, so you beat on it and it takes the reverberations good. Again, this is 65 MN. This is like the 1095 of China. This is 1095 steel. Tops does something with their heat treat wherein the edge is harder than the spine. Something about the spine having flex and this retaining edge retention. A person like me doesn't care about edge retention too much because I could field sharpen this. Also, guys, whatever, again, I was repeating, sorry. Whatever survival knife you're looking into, I would personally look at the specifications and I would ask, oh, is whatever steel a hard or soft steel? Then Google's gonna go, it's a hard steel. That means it's gonna keep an edge longer. If it says it's a soft steel is better for impact, especially if you live in the terrain that I do. I live in the desert, so we have hardwood here. It gets dry. It can even get fossilized and stuff like that. Like that's why Tops is so popular, because it's a 1/4 inch thick of steel. 1095 is a very reliable steel. You're gonna get the very elitist that like, oh, I want SK 85 or something. Oh, 1095 sucks. Like, I don't even listen to them. That those things are gonna be either too expensive or I don't need it. I need the 10s, 1055, 1075, 1095. Condor is a pretty good company for that. And sorry for rambling, but yeah, guys, this is Tops blade. And I came out here to beat the shit out of the made in China Kershaw Camp 10, but it's beating the Tops, namely because of that. The handle went loose. If I was in a survival situation, if I didn't bring screws and Loctite or something, this would annoy the shit out of me, man. The diameter of this handle is so wide already. One thing about, I love this Tops blade, man. It looks cool. It's got a lot of purposes, but man, does it tire out my freaking hand, man. It's like the diameter of the handle is so big. The dude who made this knife is huge. He's E.J. Snyder. He was on the show Naked and Afraid, and he really did. He made a good product, guys. This is like it's called the King of Tracker Knives. You can look up tracker knives. I don't know if you guys want me to elaborate on that, but you can Google anything nowadays. And tracker knives are pretty useful. So, oh, thank you. Somebody wished for my safety. I'll give a shout out to anybody. You just have to put a star in front of your comment. So I don't want to put anybody on blast. You know what I mean? To respect privacy. But let me find another song. We're going to beat on the edge a little bit. And we're going to see. I'm very sure that the 1095, this edge, is going to outlast this. But this is a low saber grind. This is a high saber grind. High saber grinds, hollow grinds, full flat grinds, they're always going to feel sharper. They're more slicey. But the give and take is, man, this is still intact, man. There's no rattling. I don't notice any looseness. Like, I beat the shit out of a K Bar before and the handle got loose. These are generally stick tangs, meaning like the tang inside these handles is usually skinny. It looks like a rat tail. Whereas this tang, it's as big as the handle about. It's, as wide. Not as thick, but as wide this way. So let me find another song, take a drink of water, and do another round. So pardon me, guys. See. I've been beating the shit out of that blade, so give me a second. Okay, let me get a drink. We'll do a little 3-minute round. Next song is 3 minutes. Woo! It's nasty. It's some healthy tea stuff in there. So watch. It's gonna be a commercial. Tangent. I don't know if you guys ever see the channel Joe X, but he's awesome. I would, best knife channel in my opinion. When he hits what he calls the iron rod, he hits a rod of iron with these things. Look at my right foot, okay? It's pointed toward you. He'll go like this. And I just want to let you guys know that if you look at this foot, you can, from a stationary position, you can turn on the ball a foot and hit. Or if you're closing the distance, you can step natural, just step forward, toes facing forward, or technically that way, and you'll hit a lot harder. You'll punch a lot harder. So, okay guys, I wanted to show you one thing though. Check one of the high saber grind. Remember high saber grind? There's melted snow. That little, when I hit this, it bit in so deeply. I mean, if you're fighting a wild animal or a crackhead and you cut that deep and you went swash, you know, like you just disemboweled your opponent. Now, I'm not advocating killing unless it's for self-defense, because the longer you don't finish that job, the more you're going to be breathing heavy like this, lactic acid. The edge retention is great, man. That's relatively still sharp. Check this out. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't bring paper, so it's next best thing. See that again. It's still sharp. This is a really good freaking tool, man. Dude, look at, there's no noise, okay? The blade isn't wobbly inside the handle. This is like a stick tang. See some comments real quick, okay? Fighting a tree up, testing the quality. You rock. I love you guys. Might be losing. Mr. Simf Lord, I don't know what kind of keyboard warrior you are, but I'm a lifelong martial artist, dude. Live in Southern California. Anybody want to spar? I could use the exercise, so I don't know what you know. But check this out. Again, this almost $300 blade. You can, like, whoever's my detractor there, you can get off your ass too and do something, man. Hear that? Yeah, man, this is like straight from the factory, straight from Tops. This is almost $300, like $265 plus the shipping and handling. That also, a lot of these knife channels, or a lot of people that I know, if you get off your ass and if you do something with your life and you follow your dreams and you're passionate about something and you stick to your guns and you don't compromise, you're always going to get haters or detractors, folks. Don't let the nervousness of little people trying to shit in your Cheerios, piss in your Cheerios, stop you from getting off your ass and doing shit you love or that you feel like you got to do to get ahead or put another notch on your belt in life. Oh, check this out though, guys. Here's something that happened. Look at this. See that? There's a hand guard right here. The hand guard on this China blade, it came out. I don't know. I didn't hit that, so it must be from the spine. Yeah, the spine test. The spine test must have hammered this through, hitting the spine, must have hammered this through here. So in my opinion, both of these blades today got their ass whooped. And another thing that I noticed about Joe X's channel, Joe X is a very, very extreme knife tester. I noticed that he eventually breaks these blades. If they survive, he breaks it with a ALG, basically an assault rifle, 5.56 round, I think. he'll or a shotgun. He'll shoot these things that they survive all this kind of stuff. But other than that, he always conquers these blades by hitting the spine on shit. And the reason why we're hitting the spine on here, it's gonna mimic hard batoning. If you don't know what batoning is, again, guys, I repeat, batoning is like this. Say, this is a bad example, but say this is I'll be right back. I got it. This is what batoning is, fellas. Okay. Imagine this stick is a lot bigger, right? Even this would do though, but imagine if it's like a log with a 4 or 6 inch diameter. You got another stick, and oh man, I just went through a knot. That's it. It's it's going into the dirt. So, but anyways, you would be furthermore, always get your hand out of the way. Treat these like guns like muzzle discipline. This is a gun. I don't point it at you. I point it in a safe direction, and I keep my finger the hell out of the trigger wheel. Same thing with these blades. Have the edge and the point always pointed away from you and pointed away from loved ones and people you don't intend to kill. So you would get the point. It's just going into the dirt. But eventually you would cut these and more and more into little pieces so that you can shave off little things, feather sticks, shavings. See, it's still sharp. And basically these little curls, that's a bad example. I don't know if you can see it in the sunlight. These little things, they light on fire much easier than trying to light this whole fucking stick on fire, man. But okay, that pretty much, I could keep beating the shit out of this if people want to listen to music, but it's still sharp, man. And basically, the moral of the story is whatever blade you have, get something that you know it will baton. I made a K Bar blade, very, very loose and within the handle before, because I batoned it on some wood that was so freaking hard, man. But if you don't live in the desert, if you live where there's a lot of green wood, if you live where it's like tropical, you might want to look at, you might not need such a robust and thick blade such as these. These are big, heavy choppers because they're meant to, like, in case you have some crazy shit you want to chop or baton through. But honestly, today I have to give the win to the Kershaw, guys. The tip is a little bent. I don't know if you can see that. It's not a lot of light, but just from doing a little bit of stabbing the tree and twisting, it did warp the tip a little bit. But I don't really care, man, because honestly, to make this a stabbing weapon, I'm very sure I'm not that kind of martial artist. If I had knife fighting experience, guys, I'd probably not be alive. I'd probably have a fake leg. I'd probably have Captain Hook hand and missing one eye. So I wouldn't be able to come out here and get this exercise. But my calculations is, because this isn't a double-edged sword or anything like that, it's a very thick tip, which people like for bushcraft. You're not really stabbing anything with this unless you put so much force behind it. Because if you just look at the Tops Wild Pig Hunter, a spear tip, a skinny, like a spear tip knife, that's definitely going to stab into something. I really love the Tops Silent Hero. It's a hunter's point. That would penetrate. But what I'm trying to say is, I don't really care about the tip in my world. I care more about its power to chop. And keep in mind, if you're in a survival situation, if you're very emaciated, if you're very tired, can you use the strength to actually thrust something that hard, you know? Excuse me, I was breathing wood chips all day right now. But yeah, guys, this is like a bolo blade. Kukri style bolo. It's forward heavy, meaning you can feel the power, the balance is like way back, like here, because of how forward heavy the blade is. This is pretty forward heavy too, top skull crusher. So again, guys, today was the Kershaw Camp 10, versus the top skull crusher against the Tree of Truth. And I gotta say, man, I would rather be missing this hand guard and it still doesn't wiggle, it doesn't annoy me like this. That would annoy the shit out of me, dude. I mean, it's getting looser and looser just from proper use. That's not a good sign. I don't think Tops can help that, you know. They would not warranty that for what the hell I was doing. Let me see some comments, and that might be a show. Cryptid Lord, take a breath. Yeah, dude, try to get it off your ass and doing a manly sport. Maybe you can get some cardio going too. It's a joke, big guy. Whatever, dude, you're annoying. Yeah, you're bringing nothing of value or content to this. What are your thoughts on President Trump pardoning you on January 20th on the Capitol? Somebody called me the January 6th guy. What do I feel about that? Oh, you guys really want to know how I feel about that? I'll tell you how I feel about that, guys. So I kind of have an affinity with this country, guys. I'm the son of an immigrant that survived the crazy ass war situation. And if it wasn't for the United States of America, I wouldn't be here talking to you. I wouldn't know the joys of Western women. Oh, here you go, Mr. Crip Lord. I'll show you something. Like, if you get off your ass, maybe you can get some chicks. So while I make you sad and jealous, let me tell you about my opinion on the. So let me get started here. My opinion on the January 6th, all this political stuff. So let me start back from 2001. We had something called the Patriot Act, right? The Patriot Act, basically, for lack of a better word, it's the government's excuse to fuck over your Fourth Amendment right, okay? And you know what all the conservative, Christian, and conservative, gung-ho, pro-American, patriotic dudes did? They were fooled by it, but they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything, man. It's a violation of our constitutional right. It was an excuse. They used 9/11. They most likely, the conspiracy theorists pretty much proved that they allowed it to happen. So, for God's sakes, where's these pictures? So that they can institute the Patriot Act. They did nothing. Fast forward years later, we have, the COVID crisis, okay? And the COVID crisis shut down so many bars, shut down so many businesses, trying to force people to get vaccinated. So I don't know if you guys can see that. That's my ugly face. And that's a beautiful Western woman. And there's me being sweet to her, trying to show her that real men are romantic and only do chicks in the right orifice. There's her pretty face again. I'm not a dick. I'm not going to show pictures of her body. I don't kiss and tell. I'm not that kind of person. So trust me, she's banging. She's a baddie. She's way out of my league. Actually, the COVID-19 virus, the epidemic got me that chick. She was a bartender and everything, and she was laid off. And lucky me. I have even more beautiful pictures than her that I'm trying to find. We did nothing, okay? The COVID shit. And then you have all these freedom fighters like Kyle Rittenhouse almost going to prison, and like people like Alex Jones getting canceled from the internet. People blatantly knowing that like Epstein and Bill Gates are like little pedophiles and they're trying to ruin the globe to fatten their own pockets and shit, right? And you know what we patriotic, red-blooded Americans did? We did nothing. We did nothing, man. All the don't tread on me and Second Amendment and, try that in a small town, you know what I mean? And Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin saying that we have an obligation to water the tree of liberty, right? And we did nothing. Then they stole the election away from Trump. They did nothing. We did nothing. Then sorry, Lord, there's me snorting coke with hot blonde chicks back when I was rocking out. So Mr. Crimp London or whatever my detractor is, if you get off your ass and quit eating soy and be patriotic and red-blooded Ted Nugent wannabe like me, you might get some chicks too eventually. I feel sorry for you Zoomers out there. It's a lot harder nowadays. We did nothing, guys. The illegal immigrants coming over the border and they're lighting women on fire and they're like raping our women in the street. Am I allowed to say that on YouTube? And all this deviancy, the drag queens and all this sexual weirdness being paraded around children and dudes that are pretending to be chicks being able to use the same restroom as your little girl, and all these rules saying that you don't have a right to stand your ground, you have a duty to retreat if you're assaulted, the Second Amendment being infringed. And guess what we did? We didn't do what Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson said about watering a tree of liberty and all that. We maybe hung some American flags, some All Lives Matter stickers, shot some beer cans about it, and we didn't do anything. So that's my 2 cents about this, guys. I don't really give a shit if I get demonetized. I worship free speech, and the Lord Jesus does too. He gave man free will. Free speech is everything. Free speech is, if you don't believe in free speech, you're a soy cuck. That means you're a conformist. That means you care about other people's opinion. I didn't get hot blonde chicks worrying about soy ass people and fascist and fat libtards freaking opinion, man. Again, I'm a second generation survivor of communism. I don't want to elaborate what my race is. I don't want to elaborate where my dad comes from. So when I see people who are born in this country or other indigenous people who are not Anglo-Saxon Protestants or Catholics taking this place for granted and only living to watch fiction, only caring about what the Kardashians are doing and wasting their time on stupid shit and not throwing their hat or giving their 2 cents or making their effort to make their posterity and their country better, who are not adamant and who are not extreme and who are not pissed off and who are not zealous about freedom and the American way and all that. When I see them being like that, it boggles my mind. Like, you don't understand the gift that you guys have, man. And like, I don't care if I get monetized, dude. I made a video about when President Trump gave his first address, right? You guys remember that was a really long address, and he was showing the poor black kid that had brain cancer, and he was showing the families who had their children sexually assaulted and killed by illegal migrants or whatever. And when he had all that, and the Democrats weren't even applauding for the heroes, they weren't applauding for the kids surviving cancer, right? President Trump's too nice of a guy. And I know it's something about you Protestants that you believe that you're supposed to be magnanimous. Magnanimous means like having mercy on your enemies. Your enemies are evil. And President Trump, I love the man, but he should have put them on blast. He would have been like, this migrant, he killed this person, this family has to suffer, all because of Nancy Pelosi, who voted yes on blah, 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 that enabled this and that eventually culminated in the death of and then he should have put them on blast, okay? Not only that, my knees hurt, getting old or something. Not only that, but if those Democrats, those aristocratic fossils, if they're really this globalist, Illuminati, sorcerers of pedophilia and trying to institute communism and eradicating free speech. I mean, let me give you an example, guys. I paid good money for these headphones, and they don't play music anymore because it says I exceeded my time that was deemed healthy enough for me to listen to music loud. So now it won't even play. It won't play music. It'll play like news or something. You get the point? You want to live in a dystopian, Orwellian world like that? So honestly, again, I don't care if I'm demonetized. I don't care. I have no kids. I have nothing to lose. If those Democrats are really pedophiles and they're fucking they're selling kids into sexual slavery, and if they're enabling these migrants to come here and kill us, and they're trying to make us soy boy and all cuckified, like my detractor in the comments that's just trolling. He's like, never wanted to get off his ass to produce testosterone, so he's jealous of half-assed Chads. I don't think I'm a Chad. I'm some kind of ogre Sigma. But they want us to be all like that. Like, this is very weak, dude. A lot of people want to kill freedom and free speech and all this supposed toxic masculinity because they know if they were walking, they know they want everybody to be like them. Let me give you an example. I had this one girlfriend before. I could show you her stupid picture. She left me for this boy in a band, and he was all pretty and soft looking. And then I heard, like, within a month or two, they were walking by a bunch of thugs, and these thugs came up to her. She's really stacked, Women in California are beautiful, dime a dozen, man. Latinas, like, híjole. And, she's all stacked, hips and everything. And they're grabbing and pitching the hell out of her, dude, like get cop in a feel. These guys would have obviously raped my ex, but she was in screaming distance of civilization still. So they copped the feel and said some bad things, and they left. And you know what that guy did? He stared at the floor the whole time and did nothing, man. Because he's a fucking soy man. He's a fucking soy boy. And if you keep letting people dictate what you believe and what you say and what you can do and when or where you can listen to music or whatever the fuck I was talking about, it's gonna make a conformist society full of soy-ass fucking cucks. And again, I don't care if I get demonetized or whatever. If those fucking aristocratic demons, the Democrats, are peddling smut and enabling all this godless shit, that's treason. That's being hanged. They should have all their resources taken and allocated to those families. You got to understand, guys. I don't know if you're religious or not, but some of these cases, these people's children got assaulted, like over hours. They got dragged away to a secluded place and like strangled and messed with and like that. Can you imagine dying like that? Can you imagine how the parents have to feel the rest of their life? Can you imagine being the victim? Like, oh God, why don't you save me? The demons and the bitterness and the rage and the constant unsettling peacelessness and torment that the families and that those people have to live with the rest of their life. All because some stupid fucking aristocratic bitch, fascist piece of fucking shit enacted some selfish ass laws. That's why there's a hell, guys. That's why when people are like, oh my God, the Old Testament God was such a tyrant. The Old Testament God was telling the Hebrews to go kill baby sacrificers, man. The fucking Philistines and the Rephaim, the Nephilim, the Midianites, whatever the shit, all over Palestine and the Mediterranean. The Dagon worshippers, the Moloch worshippers, the Baal worshippers. They were sacrificing their fucking kids. Dude, before Christianity changed our culture, in the Roman Empire, you had weird ass old men dressed in togas talking about philosophy and the gods all day, and you had emperors like Nero and all those other sick fucks castrating boys for like sexual slavery. And back in those days, if you didn't pay your taxes, if you didn't have enough shit that Caesar demanded, well, your wife and kids are going to get sold into slavery. You might get crucified. You might get fed to lions. Nowadays, the IRS comes after you. You're not going to get fed to lions. You're not going to have your wife being touched by other fools. So someone got me started when I think about all this shit going on with politics and all. That's my 2 cents, guys, that I guarantee you that whether you're conservative, you're Catholic, or you're Anglican, or you're Orthodox, or you're Baptist, God gave us a problem for us to all unite. No matter if you're a Westerner, in the eyes of our enemies, you're a Christian. You operate off a paradigm. You operate on a system that, you know, raping people is wrong. Touching kids is wrong. Telling people what they can and cannot do is wrong. Limiting free will is wrong. Enabling all this smut and all this deadly shit is wrong. No matter if you're agnostic or you're atheist, but you know that the political right is the better team. Our Saracen enemies, our Saracen enemies in the Middle East and all these other people who hate us around the world. You know, China's about to attack Taiwan. It's in their manifesto. Taiwan is they make the best computer chips in the world. That'll give China a huge edge in combat and war, drone warfare. More than likely, those drones, those UFOs that were circling the East Coast of USA in late 2024 and the China balloon and earlier in 2004, they're getting a layout of our land so that they can either attack our infrastructure or know where to bomb in war and distract us while they retake Taiwan. And in my opinion, by the way, K Bar is made in Taiwan, so is Work Tough Gear. Those are pretty credible knife companies. We want Taiwan to be our little sister company, like country. We want to show the rest of the world that if you leave your communist world for our capitalistic Christian world frame, what should be Christian, that you're going to be taken care of. We had to lose Ukraine. We have so many problems because the Democrats have been trashing our country so bad, we can't afford that mess. Also, with Ukraine, that's the Russian-Cuban Missile Crisis. America had the Cuban Missile Crisis. Cuba had like nuclear warheads basically pointed at USA. Back in the Cold War days, it gave Russia a huge advantage. And USA was like, we thought we were on the brink of war. You can look up how close we were to war. And USA was like, if you don't get your guns pointed off us, we're gonna blow you off the map. And they obliged. So Russia doesn't want Ukraine to be part of NATO because Russia's like, you guys have military bases all over the world. We have more land than we know what to do. I'm not saying Russia's a good guy. I'm not saying Russia is trying to overplay their cards and make excuses to keep tabs on Ukraine and push further and further. I don't mean to be derogatory, but it's like just the tip. You know what I mean? Maybe Russia is doing that with the negotiations right now. I'm not saying that they're like a halo over their head or they can do no wrong. I'm just saying like if Trump is right, and if we're babysitting NATO and we send all the money and it's making our economy worse, what can we do? And then someone asked me, let me read some comments here. Let's see, what are your thoughts? Buddy owns cows and chickens. No, man, I wish I owned cows and chickens. No, dude, I'm from California, man. People think I'm a surfer boy. Shit, I wish I was a country boy, man. They'll whoop our ass. I wish to God I could live. I wish to God I could move out of the state and go be self-reliant and live on a farm. I'd go live on Skinwalker Ranch if I could, just to get out of here, dude. California is a rat race of death, and every day, when we finally get rain, people will drive on the freeway at 86 miles an hour still. and you're always going to be late to work. It's a fucking dead end, man. So anyways, we're President Trump. You guys, I don't know what's going on with the Epstein shit. For example, Putin, he said that no matter what US president you elect who promises this and that, people in black suits, like, here comes the men in black, they're always going to sit down, talk to the president and go, hey, this is how it's really going to go. You might have these ideas, but nah, we're not going to release the JFK or the MLK or the whatever files, UFO shit. They dictate it. But I think President Trump has proved how much he loves America. He's almost died for it. He could just go retire with Milena. It's been documented that he's losing money, losing popularity, risking his life to be our president, and people are accusing him of some kind of ego. He doesn't need that mess. If President Trump's plan with tariffs fail, excuse me, if his move to get out of Ukraine, if all that backfires, I still stand, excuse me, if President Trump, if he makes this ship go down, I'm not just a sycophant or just, a fanboy. I'm willing to go down with that ship. You know why? Because he was the best man for the job and nobody else had any brighter ideas. And the Democrats have screwed us into this corner so bad that we had to make a decision. I'll give you an example. There's this military story, okay? Army or Marines. The team captain, not the drill sergeant, but the recruit who was in charge of everybody else, he had to tell these guys, hey, we have this event. I don't know what event it was, but we have to have a certain dress for it. Not BDUs or whatever, like a certain dress, like a formality. They didn't know they forgot which exact uniform they were supposed to wear to this event. But they picked the wrong one, and then they showed up for it. And the drill sergeant was like, look it, guys, you picked the wrong shit, but I'm not gonna fault you because you didn't stand around with your thumb up your ass. You made a decision. And that's one thing, a characteristic of being a man or combat or life in general, because you don't get infinite time in life. Whatever plans you have to make a decision. It could be the wrong decision, but it's better than making no fucking decision, because that can end up worse for you. Trump made a decision. He's obviously the best man for the job. He's obviously gung-ho, or he loves his country. He had to make a decision. This is the best idea we had. I'll give you another example, okay? Like in martial arts, okay? Martial arts is a chess match, a violent chess match where you have to make decisions on a split second, okay? So a textbook uppercut is like that, okay? But a bolo uppercut is you take a risk by unguarding your face to come up and swoop. It has more power. Or for example, an overhand. You could do an overhand like this, but it's really a right cross going offline. A real overhand, you drop your guard. My face is open here. And you come, whoom, and you loop it over. You're taking a risk because this is safe. This is really safe. Coming like this is risky. Momentarily open, boom, for something that's even more powerful than this. So imagine, I go for a bolo uppercut, at the same time you went for a left hook, and you went first. But I had to make a decision. If I just stood there like, oh my God, I don't know what to do, no guts, no glory, I lost the match because I stalled, I showed cowardice, I showed that I didn't want to fight. I went to engage, and boom, you clipped me with a left hook. It was the wrong move. I picked the wrong move. But I made a decision. I had to do something. But if it landed, I got all the glory. And guess what? I got respect from the crowd just from trying. So with this tariffs, with letting go of Ukraine, I trust the man, Mr. Trump. And if his idea backfires and flops, I don't fault him. What else are we gonna do? Keep letting illegal immigrants come and keep letting other countries tariff the shit out of us, and a Big Mac, and fries and a drink is $20, but you make only $15 an hour at your job. That's exactly what would have happened. So I don't know. Kudos to anybody who's still watching this. Every time I get political or opinionated, I start to lose. I start to lose views once I get political or religious. But anyway, if you're just tuning in, this video is going to upload. And what we did today, somebody asked a very political, deep question. We're seeing today if a $300 is like $265 top skull crusher, basically a robust, legendary, one of the strongest knives in the world, one of the strongest, most toughest knives in the world, made in USA. If how much can a made in China blade par up or compete with this knife? And today we proved, if you're on a budget, go ahead and get this Kershaw Camp 10. It beat this American steel. Now, the 1095, to be fair, it kept its edge a little bit better, okay? You're not gonna break the steel, but what happened today was, do you hear this? Hold on. There's some background noise, but sounds like a woodpecker. The handle became loose. Handle got loose on the American blade. This, we broke the handguard. Some of the coating to prevent rust on the spine got diminished. That was expected. It kept its edge very well, man. I showed that. This will still cut. I've been beating the shit out of this blade, man. And look, on the tree of truth. So if you guys, again, check out Joe X. Joe X is my mentor. If you get into survival knives, if you want to buy a survival knife, check Joe X first. Go, oh, cold steel trench hawk. That's a tomahawk. Cold steel, go Joe X, even just trench hawk or Kershaw Camp 10 or top skull crusher, whatever blade's name, right? YouTube, that blade's name, destruction test. And he should be one of the first videos, Joe X. He's a badass, dude. He's one of the only Europeans that us Yankees don't think are more sissy than us. He's a lot tougher than me, guys. I love you, Joe. So the handguard broke off from hitting the spine. We hit the spine to accelerate what would happen if you were batoning your blade through wood for years and years and years, accelerated. There's no looseness to this. Doesn't have any looseness. It's not wobbly. It kept its edge. The tip is not as strong as this one. I actually, from using this as a digging tool, the tip is pretty messed up. So it's not fair that I've been beating the shit out of this before today, and it was perfect, other than I blunted the tip a bit. I blunted the tip mainly, not from digging. I blunted it because one of the first times I tied this to the end of a spear. Oh, I should go over the specs of this. This is a very multi-purpose tool. When it's fresh out the box, you can use it as a spear by basically tying it on the edge of a stick. And, excuse me. If you want to know how to do that, look up, I'm going to say it slowly so you can remember it or rewind it and get how to latch a Tops blade as a spear on a stick. Just watch the video from Prepared Mind 101 and Tops Silent Hero, and he basically shows with paracord how to latch this to the edge of a stick. So if you find a stick that's a good spear for this, these saw blades can cut notches. Just basically a little bit of sawing action here, so that when you wrap the paracord around this shit and through in the middle to make it tighter if you can, if you wrap it around this, it hugs the stick even better. And then so I blunted the tip because this very tree right here, one of the first times I threw the spear at this tree, it deflected and it went fucking tip first into a rock, like right here. So it was my fault but Tops makes the strongest knives in the world. I would recommend this over the Tops Tom Brown tracker. This is a tracker knife on steroids. It's quoted as like the greatest, most formidable tracker knife there is. I don't know if people are gonna argue out there, but you see these little eyelets right here. The Silent Hero has them too, which you would be putting the paracord inside of it to wrap on the side of a long stick for a spear, so that you would feel safer around wild boar. It's gonna make the spear edge very heavy. I honestly would trust the Silent Hero as a spear tip better. I love Tops, and it's abuse of the knife, so it's not really fair, but I have to give credit where credit's due, that this handle got loose as fuck. It's getting looser and looser just from normal use. And this thing, other than this hand guard and the coating being stripped a little bit, is badass. So let me show you the sheaths so you can see the factory direct sheaths and how they're utility. Let me go get the sheaths to these two blades real quick. They're actually right here. Okay, cool shit. Let me get my car keys on me just to not lose them. Okay, this is a neck knife. This is yeah, it doesn't fit my dome. This is the Cold Steel mini tack buoy. I use this so I don't have to carry a can opener. I will you'll get your hand a little bit messy. I will hit the can, get it in there, pop it, stab a little bit more here, hit it, pop it open, stab it, hit it, pop it open. So and whoever did the hearts, I appreciate it. God bless you. Let me show you the sheaths. Again, another thing, guys. So I'm saying, if you're on a budget, you might not have to buy a $300 blade. This Kershaw Camp 10, there's so many videos on it. It's done to death, but it's kicking ass. And for the price, it's amazing. Also, I like the sheath to this better. The sheath has some rattling in it. A lot of people don't like that, especially hunters, because they have to sneak up on animals. But it comes with I don't know if this is Kydex or hard plastic. And, but here, if this is on your belt or whatever, there's so many ways that you can latch this onto a belt or a backpack. You can reverse these so that you're scout carrying. Scout carrying is basically if you had this on your back, the small of your back on a belt, so that you reach back here and you would unclip this with your thumb and bring it out, boom. And this is a high saber grind, guys. So this bites a lot. It's a low saber grind, it's stronger in the blade. It'll last a lifetime, but it busts the wood, this bites through the wood. So another thing about the sheath, guys, is one thing I would do to this blade, I would take these strap things out of the whole, see how it's, what I would do, I would take these straps out, get some paracord, then I would go to a military surplus store and find some kind of shit like this. Hold that thought, please. I have the Skull Crusher sheath over. So this Skull Crusher stuff, right? It doesn't come like this. You can look this up, Skull Crusher and its sheath. I put this stuff on the back of it. It's MOLLE compatible. So I went to the military surplus store, and this holds my ferro rod, you know. So I got this little hook here so that it wouldn't fall out of my pocket. This is a Uberleben, Uberleben. To me, this is the best ferro rod in the world. Let's see if this can, the spine could get sparks. Yeah. I don't think the tree didn't do that, like smash the spine, because like give it a 90-degree angle on accident, because like the coating, the rust coating here, I know you can't see it very well. The rust coating where I was hitting the spine on the tree, that wore off, but here is still very black, and this part the black part, it's throwing really good sparks. I can get in trouble for that. In California, we just had the Palisades fires. So if the ranger saw me doing that, he'd be like, what the fuck are you doing, you know? So I gotta be careful. Uber Lieben. Look up really big ferro rod. So what I would do is I would take the straps out and I would get stuff at the military surplus store. Like, this is like originally meant to hold some kind of magazine, like a clip, a clip for an assault rifle. But I latched it on the back of the Skull Crusher sheath to put a flashlight in there, okay? And this flashlight looks like I don't want to be vulgar. My mechanic's like, why do you have a butt plug there? It's because the back of this flashlight broke and I made some makeshift stuff on it. So like you can use this as a weapon, like shine this in their eyes. And if they come at you, come here in that overhand that I was showing, boom, right in the temple. So God forbid I never have to do that shit, but you want to be prepared. So the Skull Crusher sheath, pardon me, it's very utility, but the Skull Crusher sheath, you can get a Kydex, a sheath similar to this. You have to buy it separately. It's going to be something over $100. But this Kershaw, you'd be like, oh shoot, it comes right back out, slides right back in. But with the Skull Crusher one, a lot of people don't like top sheaths, but this is like a typical top sheath, meaning like some of their blades do have Kydex. This compartment naturally comes with the top sheath, and I got a smaller knife in here for feather sticking. This is the Cold Steel Spartan. There's two different kind of Cold Steel Spartans. I actually like the cheaper one more because it can feather stick better. This needs to be baton to feather stick better, but you get the point. Like shavings or making a stick into a spear, you know, very sharp, man. I mean, look how fast it made a spear trap, little spear. So people, they dig traps and they put these little spears here so that like rodents will fall in the trap and impale themselves. They have something to eat. It's like a survival trick. I'm not at that level of survival. I'm more like make a campfire and hopefully bring a can of food. Another thing I'm planning to do, guys, I suspect my cat got killed by coyotes. So I'm literally planning, unless it gets too hot because the winter's already over, to go coyote hunting and to use myself as bait. They'll probably run away. Use myself as bait and fucking beat the shit out of coyotes for eating people's cats. It sounds very immature. Reason why I have that idea, I swear this happened. A long time ago, I was a security guard for this company, this other company across the street. Two of their dogs, guard dogs, I think they're Dobermans or German Shepherds, I don't remember. They got in a fight with 4 coyotes. My Romanian friend, he gave me a real sword. I was gonna go run and go up to one of those coyotes and go bam, like, you know, under like this. But once I was about 40 feet within range, the dogs, it's deterred. They whooped the coyote. They chased away the coyotes. 2 guard dogs chased away 4 coyotes. This happened in Ontario, California. So yeah, good for me. This is the top sheath. So the reason one thing about that Kershaw, man, you saw that you can put those things, the magazine holders that can hold ferro rods and flashlights. You could put that on top of here, and with these eyelets, these holes, these spaces, you can go around with paracord. And then yeah, you know, I usually like these on a bandolier to go over my shoulders and stuff. But let's look at the Tops Skull Crusher sheath. This is an excellent work knife. I would sell it. I have another one that hasn't been used. So anyways, you see how it fits in there? And you have these 2 straps. Okay, bear with me here. I put it in the wrong way. I'm already loving these other blades so much that I kind of I like this blade. The handle hurts my hand. I'm not as manly as the maker of it, named EJ Snyder. But you see, with a sheath like this, if you were in a pinch and you had to deploy this, it takes longer to get it out, and then you might accidentally hit this strap with the edge, and that's not good for a long. You're gonna eventually slice that off. But I added stuff to the back of it. I added the paracord and bandolier, but that's originally what it's gonna look like. The Tops Armageddon also has a sheath like this. The Tops Power Eagle also has a sheath like this. I didn't entertain getting those blades, Mr. Tops, because the Armageddon and all that, I would have bought that instead of the Kershaw, but it doesn't have these snaps. It's just Velcro. On this bandolier, I can't afford to just have Velcro. I need to have the snaps on it too. So, also, Mr. Tops, you guys never make your blades strike a ferro rod. Come on, guys. I mean, what the F? This China blade is just kicking too much ass today, guys. Look at, it strikes a freaking... Can you see that? It strikes a freaking ferro rod, man. If this was summertime, that would be dangerous. I would not be doing that, guys. And also, we're by water, so if anybody's like, oh, you're not fire safe. Yeah, I am. We're by a stream. And this tree that I've been beating the shit out of, it's dead. It's dead wood. So I've been doing everything by the book today. But yeah, man, Kershaw Camp 10, dude. This knife is A+. I beat the shit out of it today. It would be 100%, other than hitting the spine, took the front handguard off, which sucks because you need this handguard more than here. In case you're new to knives, the reason being is you want some kind of handguard. Some blades don't necessarily need a handguard. You see how this is called a finger choil? Your finger's buried in there so much. So if you stab something, your hand won't slide up and get Can you imagine if you're in a life or death situation, you go to stab something like a bear or a mountain lion, and all you do is go, and all the tendons, and your hand's useless, and you're getting mauled and shit. It'd be horrific. So that's something to keep in consideration. That if you're looking for a blade to also stab in case you thrust, pierce in case you got attacked. So keep that in mind, that you need to make sure that your hand isn't going to ride up on that blade. So good for me, guys. The Kershaw did extremely well today, guys. Really, really well. So, that's a wrap. That's a video. I'm going to put these away and find something else to... what did we go over today? We went over... we just went over stabbing technique. Oh, yeah. A lot of... I believe in carrying basically two blades. This one is a chopper. Yeah, when it was factory... Now imagine if this is like a big meat cleaver. A meat cleaver can't stab. I don't care. It's for chopping, okay? Then if you were to get attacked in your sleep camping, or if a wild animal were to pounce on you, to have a smaller blade that can really thrust. I love the Tops Silent Hero. And remember, Kydex, I don't know if this is genuine Kydex, but it's hard plastic, comes out, boom. A lot of people love Kydex more than leather and stuff. You can look up why. If you want me to tell you the reason why, leather, if it gets moist, if you get the blade wet, it can make it rust. With these, the water will drain. There's a little hole right here that the water will drain out. If this is full of blood because you're hunting or something and skinning animals, this is easier to wash out. A lot faster to deploy. But some people just like leather more because it's like vintage. But yeah. Oh, another technique. If you were to get assailed by a wild animal, you are on instinct going to mess up your left. If you're right-handed, you're going to mess up your left forearm. If you're left-handed, you're going to mess up your right forearm, because you will, by instinct, shove this in the big cat's mouth, shove this in the bear's face. It's going to gnaw on this, while you stab it, and you might accidentally miss and stab your own arm. I've actually been in a situation where that happened. It's a long story, because I had someone in the comments like, oh, he thinks he's tough. Like, dude, you get killed out here. I'm not even trying to flex. So anyways, I didn't get in that fight. It was I had to back up a certain party crew because I was staying at their house. They started a fight with a rival party crew. God protected me. Someone accidentally stabbed their own arm. The end. And I just probably incriminated the shit out. I didn't do shit. I didn't fucking do shit. Some other motherfucker started the fight. I didn't stab anybody. Look, I didn't stab my own arm or anything. I did get attacked by some chick. I wasn't doing anything to her. She was just mad that I was getting hotter chicks. I went like this, and I got some scars on my arm because she slashed my arm. Yeah, California chicks, man, they're crazy, right? The funny thing is, when 5-0 got called to the domestic call, they wanted to be, they thought I was the bad guy, man. The things that chicks could get away with. But I was like, she must have really loved me because she didn't go for my face. She went for my arm. So yeah, good for. Then we started laughing our ass off afterward. Yeah, guys. So this made in China shit beat this. So what was I talking about? Wild animals. Yeah. The Gurkha warriors, they used to hunt tigers with kukris. I tried to study the exact technique that they used, but it just says that, one, I don't want to kill a mountain lion. I love cats. The only animals I want to hunt are wild boar and coyotes. Coyotes kill cats. Wild boars look really tasty. There are plenty of them, and they're bad for the ecosystem. Wild boars and wild hogs in general were put on the earth by God to hunt. I don't care about eating deer or moose. I don't like the taste of deer. If I was in a survival situation, yes, I would, try to hunt that. But I live in California, and it's really hard to go hunting. My mechanic, he just, some place that he grew up in, I don't know what place it's called, but they permanently closed it down. Bee Canyon is very close to here. It's a shooting range. And this is why I'm really about freedom, guys. It's a shooting range, and they have weird signs. They have a sign that says absolutely no shooting, and I guess people do it anyway. Then they have another sign that goes, just don't shoot by highways. And then they have another sign that goes, absolutely no shoot. Where I used to go hiking in the Santa Ana River, they blocked off this huge part of it with a sign that says, wildlife preservation area, please keep out for the good of the animals or some shit. No, they don't care about the animals. They care about people hunting for free, tax-free, not having to go to a wildlife park and buy a hunting license and pay the government for parking. They don't want you to go where you can teach your kid how to use a bow and arrow on a tree for free. They want you to go to designated places where they can watch you, where you have to be around a bunch of other smelly, loud people, and you don't get any privacy. Wouldn't you want father-son time? Don't you want to be alone with your significant other or something? Now, around here, if you want a campfire, if you want to go hunting or hiking, they want you somewhere where you're around a bunch of loud, smelly people. That's not my style. So that's why I'm really big on freedom. They don't really care about wildlife preservation. They just don't want you getting free food and having fun for free without tax-free. They don't want you having tax-free fun. Where else is I going with this? Yeah, so choppers. I only really care if this one could chop, and then my primary and my secondary would be the Top Silent Hero for fine work, or in case, oh shoot, I got tackled by a mountain lion. So that's the video, guys, but I'll say some more tangents. I believe me and my friend ran to a mountain lion before. How do you know? You would know for sure. Let me tell you, the people don't believe my stories. We were at Kern River Valley. I was 19 years old. He was 17 years old. And this year was bunk, man. Freaking loud ass people, dude, blaring their mariachi music and stuff. It wasn't the peace and quiet tranquility of nature that we were expecting. So when nightfall happened, we ventured away from the campgrounds. And as God is my witness, we venture away from the campgrounds and the mariachi music started fading. It started the commotion of the people. There's ducks here. There's this ravine or lake or whatever. It's going to be dry by summer. It's all melted ice from on top of the mountain. So as this noise dissipated, it got quiet and quiet. Something else is getting louder and louder. It was like I know mountain lions are not 600 pounds, but my instinct told me that's a 600-pound cat. We looked at each other with the hugest wide eyes, and then we started backing away so that this got quieter and quieter as the annoying loud music got louder and louder, and we went back to camp. And then the very next day, we went to some museum or something around Kern River or at Kern River, I don't know where, on the way back. And my buddy, he's like, "Hey PJ, come here." So I come. He went in the door first to this place. I come in and my heart sank. He started laughing because they had a big embalmed or stuffed animal. They had a real but dead, stuffed animal, embalmed museum mountain lion that was perched like this, looking at you with like all wide eyes. We went in there, heart just freaking sank, man. So running into a mountain lion would be a really bad day. So what I hear about mountain lion defense is, number one, mountain lions generally, they attack 3 different kind of scenarios. You're jogging, oh, cat, kitty wants to chase you. You're mountain biking, same thing. Oh, kitty cat, ooh, a ball, a little toy wants to chase you. Third, the mountain lion is with its cubs and you accidentally got in its way. If we went on a fairly long walk, I can show you there's a half-eaten carcass of a coyote underneath a tree. Obviously, the mountain lion was eating the coyote, dragged out the tree and dropped the body. It's only like maybe, I want to say 2 or 3 football fields. So that would be like 200 or 300 yards going this way. So they attack on those 3 scenarios. So I guess what you want to do, mountain lions, you want to be, this one dude, I forget what he said, his name. He says, act a fool. Throw rocks at it, be big. You're not going to outrun the mountain lion. You got to scare it off. And when you're traversing a trail, when you're walking on a trail, if you have kids, imagine you're a family of 4, right? Here's the dude, he's walking in front. The wife is my pinky. The 2 kids are in the middle. Don't be far apart. Be closer together, Don't be like yards and yards apart, because that cat's coming, wants to snatch one of the kids, run and eat it. So don't have the kids in front. Don't have the kids in back of the trail. Have the little ones in the middle. Have the adults in like a band, circling the wagons, if you know what that means, What else? This is Southern California. If you keep going up north, you will run into black bears. But we don't have any grizzly bears in Southern California no more, as far as I know. Grizzly bears, you want to fight back, I heard. Black bears. So I guess that's it. I it would be out of my element. But in Southern California, if you look all messed up and you're tired and weary, you will have vultures circling above you. I just had a fly land on my arm. That's a sign. Winter's over. That's the first fly of this year that landed on me just right now. That means That means, I'm sorry, it means winter is over. Winter is over and summer's coming. The summers here are hell. The summers will be, this will be completely bone dry. That will be completely dry. I basically proved on my channel, I'm not flexing or saying the world owes me a favor. I basically proved global warming don't exist because I'm not expecting you to sit through every video. I've been coming to this area. This is March 2025. I've been coming here like since November-ish of 2024. This was bone dry. And then maybe 5 lives ago, 5 lives ago or so, this was a raging river. Like you would have a hard time walking across it. It was like rapids, and it's melted snow. So it just kind of proved global warming is cyclical. It cycles. So global warming, man. I thought they dammed up this place and cocked block us from getting water and stuff. No, it's just on time. It's melted snow. This is the spring. It's kind of early spring. California seems like the spring and fall and summer, or the fall and summer are summer, and spring and winter are winter. So in spring, it's usually sometimes colder than it was in December, like it was this year. This year, it was colder in early February, mid-February or so than it was in December. But yeah, guys, I don't care about being monetized. I don't know if I could ever make money off of YouTube. I've been asking if anybody would subscribe for at least 1 year, because I don't know how to make money off of YouTube. But if I did get popular, I would fund it by testing more blades. There's so many videos on the Kershaw Camp 10. So if I was a popular channel and people were asking me, hey, test the cold steel this or the Condor this and that, I would buy it out of my own money and beat the shit out of it. But this is a special occasion, guys, because if the summer heat's coming, and if this isn't going to be lucrative, this is one of the last videos of the kind that I'm going to make on testing blades. And I don't know if the cold season's over, but again, I used to be able to mount this phone. I had this thing where I put on a chest pack, but it broke, and it would stay with me jogging. And I would go exploring, and I go exploring precarious areas, which I still plan to do. So if you want to see some live adventure like that, that's something that I do here. I unapologetically apologize. I'm kind of belligerent. A lot of my content is opinionated shit, just because I feel like someone has to say something, man. And anyways, but channel is basically getting normal people. I'm not saying I'm better than you. I'm just saying that I've been getting into tactical and survival stuff for the last couple years. I've always wanted to get into it my whole life, but I've been a lifelong martial artist. That's not a flex. The proof's in the pudding. If I do some videos of technique and training, you're gonna know that I know what I'm saying. But let's see if there's a burr. Yeah, the edge is a little rolled on this from beating the shit out of the tree. Sorry, that was gross. Something like bit me on the ass, so I'm gonna kind of get off the ground. But yeah, exploring in some precarious ass places. Eventually gonna go to UFC gym and show some martial art technique. I really don't like to teach martial arts for free, but if there's anybody out there who's a good person, you know, like you're not a shit stain, you're not a douchebag, it's my pleasure to show you some shit. Like, let me give an example. Like, I'm one of the only people in the world, I don't mean to brag, this is not really good flooring, but I'm gonna back kick this tree. I'm not even gonna look at it. I didn't even look at the target. So there's their kneecap, right? Oh, I'm gonna jab you in the face, right in the fucking knee. I didn't even look at the target. If you watch anybody else, they'll go, oh, step to 1 o'clock, look over your shoulder, then no, that's too many steps. So if I start getting more popular and people aren't a douchebag, I'll hand you that skill. So you get the point, you know? Oh, another tangent I wanted to talk about. Joe X is a bad motherfucker. He's way tougher than I am. He's a way better channel than me. One thing I notice about his, when he's hitting the iron rod, I was hitting, this is the tree of truth, okay? My right foot is pointed toward you, okay? Look it, so I'm twisting my body, my right foot is still pointing toward you. I notice he does this, okay? He does it like this. There's nothing wrong with that, but if you twist this foot or even step, it's just following me. My foot is either pointing forward or to my 11 o'clock. If you turn that foot, it gives you a shitload more power. That goes for a right cross, all that kind of shit. So that's a little sample. Like, if you're a cool dude, you know, I can get you up to speed. Like, another thing, for example, if you're new to firearms and you need a home defense weapon, I'm always advocating people get the Mossberg Maverick 88. It's the most reliable, budget-friendly shotgun. You can look up, what's that called? Maverick 88 Meltdown. Some dude, he shows that it shoots like 500 rounds in a row without jamming or anything. Almost all the other shotguns that are the same price, they don't do that. They jam. They'll fail you. So, and don't get mini shells. Don't get mini, excuse me. You need an adapter. You need this other extra part. Or you have to get, I think it's called a Mossberg 590A1. It's a lot more expensive. It's like more than double the price of a Maverick 88. I recommend Maverick 88, guys, or shotgun 12 gauge, because one, that Maverick 88 is a lot cheaper than a Glock. And I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm a tinfoil hat person. Let's say in the future, the government didn't like what you put online, or some weirdo that's jealous or wants to steal something from you. He uses a drone to your property that has some kind of weapon on it, or to spy on you. A shotgun will blow that shit out of the air. And I believe I prefer smooth bore shotguns because they can shoot slugs. So now you have a rifle also, rifled slugs, regular slugs, you know, whatever, out of a smooth bore shotgun. But if you get a shotgun specifically for using double-aught buck, specifically for in case you got in a drone warfare situation, because I don't know if you guys know, but in Ukraine, the shotguns were still, Ukraine versus Russia, shotguns were still formidable in the battlefield, not just for close quarter CQB or clearing rooms, or you know, what's that called, when you break into houses, shooting the door lock off. I apologize, that's shit that I can't show you guys because this is California. I did that shit. There would be so much cops here whooping the shit out of me. If you want to get a dedicated shotgun that shoots only double-aught buck, intended for drone warfare, you want a full choke, I guess. You want a full choke. Bird shot will do it. Double-aught buck will do it. It's basically like shooting geese. You know what I mean? A skeet shooting. It's like skeet shooting. So yeah. So for example, my little channel is for anybody getting into prepping. Kershaw Camp 10. You obviously can't go wrong with that. I got this for only $60. This could like 50. This could be like $50 on Amazon. This was like $35, like around 2015 and shit like that. So everything, the economy is kind of getting screwed. And I mean, this thing just, I fell in love with it today, man. It can strike a freaking ferro rod, guys. Look at, do you guys see those sparks? Shoot, dude. I mean, what's not to love about this thing? So yeah, and remember, guys, you don't know what's going to happen. A lot of people invest in Bitcoin or gold. I don't see nothing wrong with that. Remember to invest in canned food. whatever's going on in the world right now, if we got World War III going, imagine like Europe insists on fighting Russia, right? And China, they supposedly can hack our grid system. They supposedly know how to turn off our water and electricity. And while we're dealing with that, they want to retake Taiwan. I'm pretty sure if they take Taiwan, that's World War III, guys. I'm pretty sure with all the political mumbo jumbo, we can't afford to lose Taiwan. That will instigate World War III. So if we end up like back in the COVID era where there's no toilet paper on the shelves, if people are buying all the bottled water, if people are taking all the canned food. So when you go to the grocery store right now, guys, remember, spend a little bit of money just to get some canned pork and beans. Don't forget to get canned fruit, because you don't want to get scurvy if you're locked down at your house and you're laid off because the economy just crashed and it's like a Great Depression again. Gasoline is like $60 a gallon because of some enemy that we pissed off. That shit can happen. It's happened before in history, and Murphy's Law says that will happen again. So when you go to your grocery store and all that, remember to pick up like a couple cans or a can or two. Like when I go to the grocery store, I try to remind myself. I get like corned beef hash, canned fruit, and juice, not syrup, so it's less sugar, because you don't want to get scurvy. YouTube, how to store water. I have these like, what's that, BPA or BPA free water containers. Another really good product that's only about 30 or 40 bucks is called a Sawyer Mini. Sawyer, like a Sawyer, like Y-E-R, Mini. It's a water purification straw, and you can look up how to use it and all that. But with the water purification straw, right? You can just get bottles of water of this. If no water was at the grocery store, I would come here and fill up containers of that, and then I would take home and either boil it, or if you didn't have access to boil it, you could use a Sawyer Mini. Every time I go to Walmart, I go to the camping section, and remember, things that you can cook in, you can boil water in. I didn't bring it with me, but the little stainless steel cups, like coffee cups to put on fire. Anything that has a double wall, like a Stanley thermos, like a thermos, you can't put that on a fire. It's double wall. The shit will explode. In case you don't know, if you want to cook I have this trash can that I poked a bunch of holes in, and I cook with it. I put fire, it keeps me warm, and I'll take a can of beans and poke a hole in it and set it in the fire. And you remember to poke a hole in it, it'll explode if you don't, like a shotgun. I'm not even kidding. So remember to take precautions like that. When you're out in the wild like this, when you're walking on rocks and shit like that, be careful for rattlesnakes, and be careful of spraining your ankle. Like when I'm walking on these rocks, when I'm like, walking, I'll put some weight on it and rock it. See if the rock will rock. See if it wobbles. And don't feel bad to crouch down to get a low center of gravity. Just be very mindful. And that's why the wild is hard, because you're gonna have to walk around itchy shit and climb rocks, and be careful that you don't get sprain an ankle and shit, man. You don't want to do that. One of these rocks were wobbly, and I slipped and fell off of it, and I fell in this bush that I had to cut myself out of. That's why I always have knives and stuff. And I got poison ivy infection and all sorts of scrapes. That shit hurt so bad for a month, guys. So fucking bad, dude. It was so energy draining too, because I didn't know if I wanted to sit or stand. So, anyways, where else was I going with that? I had some other little tips. Compasses. I don't know if you have a compass on your phone, but I've kind of bad vision. So As long as that's like, I guess, like within a mile. If you're going too far, you're gonna go way off track. But I can't see that well, so when I orient the compass, I just go, okay, that's north, or north, let's say even north is this way. North is 12 o'clock, like on a clock, like a analog clock. So let's say north is that way. And I'm like, oh, okay, 12 o'clock, I'm walking at 3 o'clock, okay? So I have to traverse around rocks. I have to walk around itchy ass shit, right? And stuff like that. Windy trails or whatever. If I get lost or I have to remember how to get back, I just, wherever I'm at, I reorient it to north. North is 12 o'clock. I had to walk generally. Oh, I had to walk generally between 3 and 4, the 3 and 4 on an analog clock. So I know that I have to walk back between like 9 and 10 on an analog clock. This is facing north, so 9 o'clock would be this way, 3 o'clock would be that way. So I have to walk a little bit diagonally this way to get back generally where I was. And if you keep going too far, like over a mile, some dude said like 5 miles. I don't believe that. If you have to go far, remember, you could end up going way off course just by being general like that. You're gonna have to like really learn how to use a compass. But so far, that's how I've been doing it, and I haven't gotten lost yet, thank God. What other generalities? Oh, another survival hack, guys. If you get a walking stick, especially if you make a walking stick into a spear, like I took a long stick, and I sharpened it like a spear, and now I'm walking with it. Make sure that spear is, in my opinion, much taller than you. Some people say at least your height. I would say at least 1.5 feet more than your height, because if you slip or you slip off a rock or whatever, people have with shorter staffs sharpened, impaled themselves in the neck while walking with those sticks. So just be mindful that they say nature is indifferent and you can use it for good or bad. I say nature wants to kick your ass. When I'm out here in the summertime, it's scorching, and there's only like, you might find a cactus, like if you're in a survival situation, you can eat that, and the water's gone. You know what I mean? Like drinking water, right? In the summertime, this stream is gone. It's completely bone dry. I mean, it's so bone dry, the rocks are white, like bone dry. It's just amazing, man. This is the Southern California desert. It's no joke. I mean, I think Death Valley, California, or Palm Springs is like, I think within 100 miles away from here or less. Death Valley, California is within like 200 miles from here, I suppose. Death Valley is the hottest place on the earth. The San Jacinto Mountains gets freezing. Like, you look up Mr. Ballin, like B. Allen, but one word, Mr. Ballin. He's like the best storyteller there is. YouTube his channel, and I don't know what it's called exactly, the episode, but just go Mr. Ballin, San Jacinto with a J, Jacinto Mountains. And the video that should show on, it should show a guy walking in snow at nighttime. When you click on it, it'll say, please confirm your age, unless they changed it. Like, it's a scary story. It was about a hiker that died there. So let me read some comments. You rock. Guys, I don't mention anybody by name. If you want me to give you a shout out, put like a star in front of your name, or also respect your privacy. Mr. Ballin is awesome. Let me see. Yeah, Mr. Ballin. Yeah, you rock, K. Mrs. K. Welcome aboard. You're cool. Yeah, Mr. Ballin is. Yeah, man. Mr. Ballin's so cool, dude, that he doesn't even need like special. I think watching Mr. Ballin is better than most movies, especially most movies nowadays. Never runs out of entertainment. people are addicted to this channel, and they're like, hey, when are you gonna make new content? And I'll be like, hey man, like how many paranormal stories that are legit can happen in the world that we know of, you know? But Mr. Ballin is awesome, man. God bless him, man. He was if anybody doesn't know who Mr. Ballin is, he was a former Navy SEAL that almost died from a grenade. And he came back with a lot of PTSD. And now he's like a good family man. He's a very likable guy. I think I'm a belligerent ogre. Like I never did anything as manly as him. And I'm kind of like loud and like chauvinistic, you know? He's way more likable than me. But yeah, California has some bipolar weather like that. A lot of people make fun of Californians because we can't take the cold. Yeah, because during the day, it'll be scorching hot. If I was the sun right now, if I was traversing a hike or whatever, it would eventually be too hot for this hat. My fat ass would want to be shirtless. It'll kick your ass. And then when nighttime comes, when the evening hits, the temperature will drop like 30 or 40 degrees, no joke, especially here in the desert. And your body doesn't know what to do with it. Like, it's like you have to carry around a jacket all day, and then at nighttime, yeah, you get the point, you know? And then in Southern California, they're very picky about starting campfires because we have the Palisades fires and all that. So unless you go to a designated area, it's basically illegal to have a campfire. So that's another thing, guys. If you're in a survival situation and you wanted to stay hidden, you want to make what's called a tunnel fire. The tunnel fire, to me, it's supposed to make no smoke. To me, it makes less smoke. It still makes smoke initially. Then when you get the fire going, I have noticed there's a lot less smoke. A tunnel fire, if you don't know, is if you were a kid playing in a sandbox and you made a tunnel in the sand, it's just like that. Ow, just like that. So you have one hole here for the air to come in, and this hole right here, I will stack it with like twigs and, like I said, betoning wood and half and half and half. And then once you get that going, like let me get a better stick. Like, you know, in the hole, like a bunch of shavings, you know. These are feather sticks, guys. That's your tinder. That'll light on fire a lot easier than trying to light this whole stick on fire. So you get the point, you know. So that's like it's already making a spear. So for other people's safety that may traverse here, cut that spear tip off. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. I don't know if does anybody have any questions before I go home. I'll give you guys like 30, at least a minute to type a question. So that's pretty much the video, guys. To recap, today we were seeing if a made in China blade, the Kershaw Camp 10, there's plenty of videos on this blade. How good that it would stand up to an almost $300 knife on the Tree of Truth. And the Kershaw won, guys. I was coming here to try to prove American steel. There's nothing wrong with the steel. What happened was the handles broke. The handles broke from hitting the spine, and we wanted to hit the spine to mimic batoning. Boom, 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 boom. When you baton logs, when you split logs with a knife to get those tinder sticks, and to make firewood more consumable and more combustible, you know. And I don't know if you guys can hear this, but again, that handle is rattly. It's getting more and more loose, even with proper use. With this handle, everything is perfect. Everything's perfect other than some of the rust, the anti-rust coating came off, which was expected, and the front of the handguard came off, which is not a deal breaker. It's just you don't want to stab anything because your hand might slide up the blade. So the handguard would prevent that from happening. So let me see if anybody wrote some comments. And I love the missing 412 K. Thank you too. What kind of machete is this? This is the Kershaw Camp 10, Mrs. K. It's very cheap. Everybody loves this thing because it's budget friendly. The only thing that makes me sad about it, it's made in China, but that's why it's cheaper. But again, like if anybody's getting into bushcraft or survival, or they want a good survival knife, you cannot go wrong with this. Yeah, it's technically a knife, Mrs. K. The reason being, you can call this a machete, but it's pretty thick. Machetes are generally longer. They're usually kind of wobbly. They're longer and they're thinner. This is thick. This is like 0.2 inches thick. This is a Tops blade. Most of this stuff is a full-on 1/4 inch thick for robustness. So it's a knife. It's the blade is 10 inches long. It's probably 15 and a half or 16 inches long total. Whereas machetes are usually a total length of like 16 inches or 18 inches above. Machetes are generally thinner because machetes are trying to get, machetes are thinner because they're trying to get this out of your way. They're trying to clear paths, okay? But machetes generally lack the thickness to survive hard use over time. So that's why this is just a big knife or a big chopper. This is a bolo. Some people say kukri. Somebody said karambit. I was like, this is a bolo shaped blade. Kershaw Camp 10. It's forward heavy. Yeah, generally these are, you can clear trails with this. Another reason why machetes are thinner is it'll tire your arm out more walking through the forest and getting oh man, I hope I didn't cut off my horn. Walking through the forest and getting stuff out of your way. Whereas this is like almost 2 pounds. Doesn't sound like a lot, but this will tire your arm out. And it's too thick. It's a low saber grind. Where generally machetes are a full flat grind, which is a thinner, more slicier blade. And a low saber grind is stronger. It's more of a smasher. And the thinner blades will always seem a little bit sharper. Also, machetes, they're generally always a high carbon steel. High carbon steels are generally easier to sharpen, but the sharpness wears out faster. And the high carbon steels, they take shock better. Some people, they want harder steels. Harder steels keep an edge longer, but if they break, this is a high carbon steel. If you mess it up, it'll bend, it'll warp. But a harder steel might actually just shatter, but they keep an edge longer, and I would rather have a soft steel. Let me see, somebody else commented something. Yeah, I was having trouble seeing the size in terms of scale. Oh, yeah, I'll give you guys the specs. Kershaw Camp 10. Again, it's about 0.2 inches thick. The blade is about 10 inches long. It's probably 9.75 cutting edge, meaning like there's no blade right here. So you could probably put your finger here. It's so that it'll tire your hand out less if you are wanting to choke up on the blade to shave. Those little feather sticks I was talking about. So it's kind of I don't really want to get stuck on this, but you get the point. So you can kind of choke up on the blade. This is about the same size, other than it's a 1/4 inch thick, and the blade is about 9.75. The cutting edge is like maybe 8.75 inches long. Very robust knife. The guy who invented this knife is a huge dude. This is the Tops Skull Crusher. It's generally pretty expensive. Let me see some other questions. Do you suggest for clearing trails? For clearing trails, people are going to tell you for ergonomical price for clearing trails, like a machete. Go look up Cold Steel machetes. They have a bunch of different styles and a bunch of different. The machete I just bought from Cold Steel is called the Cold Steel Royal, like a king, Cold Steel Royal Kukri. You'll see that the Cold Steel Royal Kukri, it's thinner, it's a full flat grind. That thing's like a weapon, man. Yeah, Cold Steel Royal Kukri. Cold Steel makes a bunch of good machetes that are only about 40 bucks. The sad thing is Cold Steel sold their company to a company called GSM, so a lot of things are being made in China. But if you're not gonna abuse the tool like I've been doing, it's gonna do you fine. Again, I recommend the channel Joe X, like the letter X, Joe as in Joseph, and you can put Cold Steel, all his stuff. Cold Steel Royal Kukri, for example. He has 2 videos. One's a year old, and he shows the one that's made in South Africa, and it's from Cold Steel. It's 1055 high carbon steel. Then there's a one that's very recent. It's the same thing, Cold Steel Royal Kukri, but it's 65 MN steel. This is also 65 MN steel. This is made in China, and the one made in China was sharper than the pre-GSM. He broke the handle on the made in China even easier, but I really doubt any of you guys are gonna break that handle with normal use, the made in China version. And for the price, it's worth it. It's worth it. I got that Royal Kukri off of Amazon with shipping and handling and all that. It came out to about $50 and something cents right now. Depending if you like the Kukri, I like Kukri style, but in case I run into a mountain lion or something like that. But they have a lot more different machetes. You might see one that's more your style. So again, Cold Steel is very high quality for the price. And I've always said this about Cold Steel, that if Cold Steel existed in the medieval times or the Dark Ages, they would have been as rich as Elon Musk. They make so many good tools, like weapons, and they make the best. They pretty much, I want to say, they make the most best, reliable, safest pocket knives in the world. They use the Andrew Demko lock. Like Cold Steel, they'll show their pocket knives. They'll be hitting the back of it. They won't, like, say there's a pocket knife and you hit something and it claps and cut off your fingers. That's not going to happen with Cold Steel. It's not going to happen with the Andrew Demko style. My phone's about to die. Let me try to get some more questions in. God bless too. God bless too. Thank you again. If you want me to give you a shout out, put a star next to your comment, or also going to protect your privacy. So it's cool we have a Christian here. So we'll close in a little prayer. Hopefully God will bless us all and keep us safe. And let's pray that, Lord Jesus, may the light of your truth and the glory of your legacy outshine the false light of Lucifer in this day and age. And I, for one, Lord Jesus Christ, would pray we'd rather all work to our last breath than ever encounter a health problem. So please take care of us, our friends and family. I got one more comment, guys, and let me see. Found the Royal Kukri, looks great. And yeah, Kay, that's sweet. 5'2" is a good judo person. Shorter people are better at judo. It's a long story. Well, I think so. But anyways, I doubt I'm going to be able to break it. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, somebody asked me to, they were thanking me for the Cold Steel referral. Yeah, that's like the go-to for everything. Cold Steel is like the standard, and they're really good at their heat treat. Joe X has been showing that a lot of Cold Steel stuff from back in the day did better than tools, more expensive, trying to be more fancy. And Cold Steel is the standard. Cold Steel is a great company. So again, may God bless all you guys. And I'm going to put some stuff away And if you guys have any other comments or questions, I'll read them before I take off, before I get up. So I'm just kind of blabbing now, putting the tops back. Yeah, Cold Steel makes some really good stuff. Their Cold Steel's machetes, they're pretty cheap and they're high quality. Their pocket knives are expensive. The Cold Steel's pocket knives are expensive, but their machetes are always really good price. Cold Steel makes a bunch of stuff. Boar spears. I really want to get that boar spear. It'd make me feel very safe out here, but it would scare a lot of people, So I like the Royal Kukri, but remember, they have different other machetes that I can't recall. I bought some of them. You just look online, or YouTube, or Google Cold Steel machetes, and it should give you a plethora. I mean, they've been around for a while. But yeah, guys, and again, Kershaw, you can use this as a machete. It's a little bit thicker and heavier, but with this, you're also getting a good chopping tool. And again, I like big knives more than axes or tomahawk or hatchets, because generally with hatchets you can't baton through logs to split wood. Because, like, for example, right, this is bent. Let's say it wasn't bent, and if I'm trying to split it with an axe, guess what happens? Falls over, right? Because we live in an imperfect world, and this isn't flat. Say if it was a thick log, right? You cut it off a tree, unless you sawed it off, it's not going to stand up. It's not just going to stand up on a platform. So you're going to hold it, so it stays in place. Boom, 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 boom. And you make the log split more and more and more, so it's easier for the fire to get started, So, but yeah, loving this Kershaw, man. Let me see if anybody replied to anything else. And, oh, you rock, Kay. Oh, you rock, Kay. I'm not the greatest Christian. I got rageaholic and women problems. I don't beat women or anything like that, but pray for my ex, my little blonde girl. I love this chick so much, but she, I'm trying to show her I'm not stalking her, so I leave her the hell alone. But she has a crazy life, man, and I eventually am gonna confront some people that tried to steal her away from me, because that's what men do, That's a little love of my life. I don't know if you could see her, but my ugly ass was something way out of my league. But I'm not mad at her. Actually, when she left me and cheated on me, I didn't feel any anger. I was worried about her. I was like, oh my God, you're not in good hands anymore. Like, I hope you don't crash your car. No, not like that. I'm mad at, I get pissed off at like these fake alpha males that, they think they're all badass and they just use chicks and they're toxic. And I'm like a nice guy, finished last, unless I'm drunk, drunk and pissed off. So that's not very healthy. So it's not very good for being a Christian. So I don't claim to be holy. I don't claim to be holy at all. The only thing that I learned that love is a lot better than lust. I realized that I would have loved to have married her and started going to church and all that. And that's a lot better than sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So that's why I endorse God. Also, I had my best friend, he's either missing or dead. He's from Romania. They're Orthodox. I was blown away at how smart he was, how cool he was. And he inspired me to try to be less of a douchebag. I am kind of belligerent and very opinionated, and like it gets caustic to some people. I don't believe in turning the other cheek. I hope God doesn't whoop my ass for that, But that's the extent. Oh, and I don't care if no one believes me. I've seen paranormal activity. I'll tell you the story in a minute. I'm like, oh, this guy's weird. So I know that there's spirits and stuff exist. I want to cry river. My mother passed away when I was 12 years old. Days later, or like a week and a half or something, I saw a blue orb. I didn't know what an orb was, O-R-B. I didn't know what an orb was. And that was definitely a freaking orb. I didn't know what an orb was till like 20 or 30 years later. Let me see what somebody said. Kay, you are not a douchebag. You're really cool. Trust me, I know. I live in California. I know what a douchebag is. You're not. God bless you. But I'm glad I was able to help. I love helping out cool people. I know, like martial arts, whatever. I'm not bragging. The proof's in the pudding. But I don't want to teach douchebags. Nowadays, that MMA is popular. Almost any, we used to call them bros. Like, you go to a party and you get in a fight with the wrong person starting crap, and now they know a chokehold or something. So it's a different world, but I would love cool people. Also, you guys are helping me out, because if I've taught you anything today, it's review for me. It's for me to remember also. So if my phone dies on you guys, I apologize. The battery's really low. So let me see. Orbs are crazy. I haven't seen one, but I heard some crazy stories from my aunt. God bless you, Kay. Feel free to elaborate those stories. Yeah, I saw, excuse me. Sorry about that. I've been breathing like sawdust from this tree, so. Excuse me. Yeah, I was with my stepbrothers, and we were waiting for my father to pick us up from a basketball court. I didn't get along with my stepbrothers, and I saw that orb, and I nudged them. They were like, oh, they were like mad, like, what do you want, scrub? And they looked up and they're like, whoa. They're not going to remember or care to attest, but what it looked like a molecule that was the same color as the sky going like this to like literally from like southeast to northwest. And it was like, I was like, well, that's not a balloon, because its trajectory is not changing. It's just like this. I called it a molecule, right? And you look at it, and you know how your eyes if you look at my finger, like the tree will be blurry. Like if you were here and you look at your finger, the tree will be blurry. But if you look at the tree, your finger will be blurry. Like, you know, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I couldn't tell if that molecule, excuse me, was only like 16 or 20 feet in the air, or like miles up in the sky. I couldn't tell which one. And it was obviously an orb. And then I got other experiences where I was a heavy metal guy, and I was dating pagan women that dabble in witchcraft and all that. And I was getting a lot of sleep paralysis, and like things at work would be breaking, making me look bad. And I was always running into the cops looking tired and dirty and getting messed with real bad. And ever since I told God, I met my Romanian friend and slowly kind of converted to his religion. And I stopped committing to try to go commit sex, drugs, and rock and roll lifestyle. And all of a sudden now the cops are nice to me. I've been able to, I've spent like thousands of dollars on knives in the last year. So, hey, hi to person, friend. Remember, guys, if you want me to mention you by name, I'm going to respect your privacy. If not, put a star next to your comment and I'll give you a shout out. And Kay is saying, I don't remember the stories in detail, but she described them exactly as I have. Yeah, ain't that crazy? And I used to get sleep paralysis real bad until I started like dabbling in my friend's religion, Eastern Orthodoxy. So like it's crazy stuff, man. Like coming from a Protestant background, I thought it was pagan that they would sit there and chant or meditate on the Jesus prayer or whatever. So I had nothing better to do one day. Like 2 years ago, I was a way better person than now. Working too much and worrying about my chick, and the desert heat has kind of took away the honeymoon phase that I had with God or something. Like, but 2 years ago, I was really praying for my ex really hard, and I was fascinated by orthodoxy, and I was practicing my friend's religion, and it was like a scary thing. I felt like I touched some kind of spirit and realized how evil and dirty and like how bad I am. And then for days, it made me like so depressed. I drank like 20 gallons of coffee on an empty stomach like this. And I was like, ah, man, that was almost scary experience. So I really respect his where he's coming from. And so yeah, guys, God bless. And oh man, I'm glad I didn't lose my keys. I guess that's a wrap, guys. That's the video. So this video should upload. To me, it's gonna upload, like it's gonna take like a whole day or two. And it was really long. I don't care if you fast forward it, don't watch it. It was nice hanging out with you guys. And if you guys have any other comments or questions, feel free to elaborate before I turn this off. I'm just gonna take a couple seconds here to put all this away. Put away the skull crusher. And I guess I'll put my hat in last. So my channel's supposed to be goofy. I'm a Bigfoot. I'm what the wild things do. We do the wild thing. It's a silly dance. So at the beating the tree, something fell on my phone and smashed. Very good hanging out with you, Kay. God bless you. God bless you in the name of Christ. I hope you guys have a really good day. Really good vibes. I'm not usually in this kind of mood. I'm usually like so mad at something and get opinionated. Like I was so mad when those illegal migrants were lighting people on fire in subways. And I'll get on here and cuss my brains out, and I'll start challenging people to fight. And then like somebody will be talking crap on a sports hero or something of mine. And I'll get on here and call them like soy boys and cucks, and like, you know, I'll beat your ass, and I get belligerent, you know. It's kind of caustic. Like I had this gothic girlfriend that hated that about me. I was full of toxic masculinity, you know. I don't care. I live unapologetically, so. But oh, I appreciate you too, Kay. You rock. God bless you, Mrs. K or Miss K. So yeah, guys, it was really good hanging out with you guys. The summer's coming back. We might get one more rainy day. The summer, this might end. Like these are one of my last episodes for knife testing for the year. Everything else might not be coming back. I might not be back here for a year if I'm still in this town. This is the desert ghetto of Southern California, San Bernardino National Forest. I'm not gonna give my exact location because it's a little, you know, in case someone out there wants to assassinate me. I'm just kidding. I know I'm not that important, but I do ruffle some feathers, man. At one time, I don't want to mention what biker gang. This one dude was willing to come all the way out here to go to prison on purpose to kill me. That's a bad idea now. I don't want to go to court and explain why I direly self-defense myself, and they're gonna say I antagonized it, being an a-hole. So yeah, guys, I guess that's a wrap. God bless you, and oh, you rock, Kay. I also got to get breakfast and probably some sleep. I've been up all night. I work night shift and stuff. So, anyways, let's take a last look at this place. So, yeah, guys. So, if you follow me, you know, do what you do. I know you're busy people. This is March. This will be bone dry by like June or like definitely July. I mean, bone dry, like white sands and white rocks and everything. There'll be like nothing green. This will be all straw, and this will be all like fire prone. You know what I mean? So, take a little gander. Again, guys, I prove global warming doesn't exist. It's a cycle, because this will be bone dry in the summer, and then when it finally rains in the winter, this is all melted snow. This is melted snow from somewhere way up in the mountains, guys. So Pretty cool, huh? Let me see some. Let me see. Starting crap with bikers. No, not really. I don't know. Got in an argument with some chick on Facebook, and her little boyfriend intervened, and it's just, yeah, it is what it is. Actually, there's the patriotic bikers like Jesse Ventura. He was the governor of Minnesota. He seems like a really good guy to me. He was in the Mongols, and he's a good guy. So I'm not saying bikers are bad people. Just it was crazy. This guy was obviously intent on really coming out here to ruin his life by taking mine. That's not really the first time that ever happened. I don't. I believe in free speech, and when I get a wild hair up my whatever, I speak my mind. Let me give another story. If I finally get baptized, my patron saint is Saint Ignacio of Antioch, because he died speaking his mind. Emperor Trajan. This is a crazy story, guys. The two greatest people in the world at that time, Emperor Trajan, the patriotic war hero of Rome, meets Saint Ignatius of Antioch, an old man, and Christianity was illegal, and Trajan was like, so, like, you're a Christian, and Ignacio was like, yeah. He was kind of like I guess what the story goes, he's kind of nonchalant, and Trajan was like, what kind of demons do you worship that defy the Roman gods? And Saint Ignatius said something like, well, actually, all the demons have been purged out of God's servant here, but I guess according to your stuff, I'm a demon or whatever. It's kind of like nonchalant. And Trajan didn't know what to do with that. He's like, he didn't know what to say to that, other than he's like, do you know who I am? I have the power to, like, free you or take your life. And Ignatius was like, you would have no power over me if my God didn't give it to you. Trajan was like, that's it, kill him. You're going to go to Rome. We're going to make a spectacle out of you. We're going to kill you by the lions. So Ignatius became like a little celebrity on this little forced pilgrimage up to Rome. That's when he wrote his letters to the churches. The guards didn't want to feed him, so they would allow Christians to come. Did I bend my horn? They would allow Christians to come and give him lunch and stuff like that, and he would give them the letters. And when St. Ignatius finally went to go get killed, the crowd was disgusted by it, because he looked like a sweet old man that didn't deserve to get fed by lions. People were like, man, that guy looks like my dati, like my uncle or my grandpa. And they were like, oh, boo, boo. People were so disgusted by it and so surprised. People were like, wow, this Ignatius guy, or whoever this guy is, he's, said low battery, he's willing to die for his God. And I've been like sacrificing to Zeus and doing all this stuff, and it's led to freaking nowhere. And so, voila, guys, that's how Christianity started to turn Rome. So, you're fun. You have a Wild Things hat too. You rock, Kay. You're really cool. Palomar Mountain. Let me see if I can screenshot that to see what that is. It won't let me screenshot. I'll try to remember that. Palomar Mountain. We have Yosemite close to here. As of right now, I don't really traverse. Right now, what I'm planning to do, which I have done, it was uneventful, but I went exploring in precarious areas, like guaranteed around wild boar. So stay tuned if you can. I'm planning to go basically. I sound like a prick, but coyote hunting. I'm sure they're gonna run away from me, but I had a little pet cat. I suspect that it got eaten by coyotes. So again, I'm a rageaholic. I'm gonna go pick a fight with a bunch of coyotes with that kukri and whoop their ass. I told this story just like a half hour ago. I was a security guard for this one place, and across the street, their guard dogs got out and got in a fight with 4 coyotes. And I ran over there trying to swat a coyote with a literal sword. By the time I was 40 feet away from it, it disbanded. The dogs drove away the coyotes. I'm not about hurting animals. I love cats. I don't want to kill a mountain lion. I don't even care about eating deer. If I would be hunting, I'd rather hunt wild boar. But I'm so pissed off at coyotes. I want to go pick a fight with them, and it might not go well for me, or it might be uneventful. But I'm gonna try to film some of it. Like, oh, here I am alone. Like, could run into a crackhead. Yay, adventure. Let's see. Should be only a couple hours. Palomar Mountain should be pretty close. Thank you, Kay. If it's a day's drive, I'll try to check that out. You know, I only get 1 day off a week right now, thank God. Yeah, the Royal Kukri, that Royal Kukri. If you when you get it, run a ceramic file on it. That'll be like almost razor sharp. And I'm not looking to get in an altercation, but you never know. Like, there's crackheads out here sometimes that make you watch your back. You know, there's this story, if you know Mr. Ball in Bell's Canyon. Imagine you're going hiking or fishing in the woods, and you meet some crazy looking guy, right? And you're like, can I help you? He's like, do you know how to get to Bell's Canyon? And you're like, oh yeah, man, it's northeast that way degrees, and you have a good day. Do you have any like beer or cigarettes? No, you have a good day, man. And then like an hour later, you're like walking, hiking. You see this guy again. You're like, haha, hey man. You're like thinking like, follow me, huh? Do you know how to get to Bell's Canyon? Yeah, it's northeast that way, dude. Like I said later, you have a good day. Yeah. And then you try to sleep at night, and you hear like rustling, you hear footsteps, you hear twigs breaking. You're like, what the you go outside your tent, you flash your light, someone's hiding behind a tree, and you're like, hey, yo, this is my little property, man. What you doing? Can I help you? It's the same guy. You know how to get to Bell's Canyon? That's why you need to carry these blades out. That's why you need a weapon out here, guys. That's why the Second Amendment shouldn't be infringed. You rock, that Bell's Canyon story. Yeah, I haven't been in a situation that bad, but I've been in situations where I'm looking at the dude and I'm like, dude, you're pissed off that I'm like an ogre, man. You know I'm not gonna be an easy victim, and you're sad, and you think I'm too nice. Like, I don't want to kill anybody out here. I don't want to explain to the police and have to hire a lawyer to prove it was self-defense. But again, Mrs. K, God bless you. I guess I got to get going, you know. But you rock, and God bless. And you guys keep on rocking the free world. And I pray to the Lord Jesus and St. Michael, all our petitions will be granted for safety and for health. Amen. You guys have a really good day.